Thanks, Phil. We had the difficult topic because, as Phil said, we're trying to read something that is in the future.
That's right.
I think one of the things we have noticed is that ours is the only topic that doesn't have the word AI in it, right? The last few sessions are talking about AI, but I'm sure our topic will go down the hole about talking about AI. So I'm pleased to be here with my friend Rahool. Both of us sit on the board of FCSI, so obviously you hear us plug for FCSI. But I'm glad to be speaking to him, just talking about how we are future-proofing our kitchens, right? So maybe Rahool.
Sure. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be setting a context. When we talk about future-proofing the kitchens and talking about designs, talking about designing for technologies that do not exist today, a kitchen or a kitchen in a restaurant or a hotel or even a central processing unit is built today will need to adapt to technologies that are coming in the days to come. And those technologies may not exist today. How do we, and they may be available today, but they may not be available to a commercial scale. So how do we bring this flexibility, adaptability into designing the kitchen or the equipment in your case, and what sort of infrastructure do we provide for, or why do we provide for it? Because again, infrastructure is a cost. So setting the context, I'm going to be touching upon 3 important points here. Basically, the problem in itself, then talking about what does flexibility actually mean, and then talking about brand standards and consultants' role in that. So when we're talking about setting a brief for a hotel or a restaurant or setting up a design brief, the technology that's available today is so rapidly changing that 2 years down the line, the technology that's available today is sort of going to get obsolete. And so what do we bring into, or how do we bring in the modularity of the design so that we're able to cater to technologies that may come in the days to come? Whereas our kitchen brief typically is given for a period of 10 to 12 years on an average, whereas the technology that we are talking about today can actually get obsolete in 2 years down the line. So how do we bridge this gap between the brief and the future that's going to be coming in? That's what we're going to be talking about.
I think I agree. There's always the tension there. You have to design a kitchen that lasts 10 years. We have to build equipment now that will last to 2037, right? So we understand that, and to design a piece of equipment when we are not sure what the regulatory framework is going to be, what connectivity standards, are we talking about Wi-Fi 7 or Wi-Fi 13 in 10 years' time? That's the difficulty. So I think from our point of view, we shouldn't be designing from a manufacturer's point of view. We shouldn't be designing with the end point in mind, but I think designing for adaptability, I think that's important because we can't really foresee of this technology. So our equipment has to be adapting to the situations that happen. So equipment to us, kitchen equipment is just hardware, right? And I think to ensure this adaptability, I think there must be an operating layer in between that is able to buffer for these changes. So just giving an example, at Welbilt, we designed, we came up with Kitchen Connect. Kitchen Connect is a system that is open source. It's not only for our brands, it's for all brands. That is in a way an operating layer, right? So that it cushions us from this unpredictability of what is happening to the future. So that's one way, right? Just instead of designing to an endpoint, we design equipment to be adaptable.
Sure. While I agree to you, and you've done a good job creating an open source platform where multiple equipments can start talking to each other, there still seems to be a disconnect, and I'm bringing this across and throwing this question open to others. We still have a restaurant point of sale or a hotel property management system that doesn't still talk to Kitchen Connect. But if you bring about an interface of that sort with our sales data, historical data, it would help production planning in the kitchen That disconnect, if that's solved, I think this will go a long way. Just throwing an idea out to you so that it's taken days to come.
Yeah, it's the holy grail for us to be able to connect all the multiple pieces of equipment. Obviously, open source is one way. We are working on solutions, right, to connect from the point of ordering. You put in something, you put in an order, the instruction comes out on the oven or the grill, it all comes out. It makes the life of the chef much easier. Obviously, that's with data, right? I think it's about connectivity. And we say connectivity in a very loose word. We assume that our kitchens are all connected. They are not, right? A lot of kitchens were designed 10 years ago where there's not even basic Ethernet connection. So when we introduce equipment into the marketplace, we assume that will be there, right? So I think we have to look forward and educate a lot of operators that this has to be taken into mind, but the infrastructure, right? It's not just about having our equipment. Our equipment could be internet ready, but the hardware is important. The infrastructure at the kitchens has to be ready for that.
Agree. So I'll move to our next point that I'm going to be talking about or touching upon is flexibility in terms of design. And what does flexibility typically mean in the brief? Flexibility for different operators may be different. Flexibility for a hotel could be building in spare electrical loads, building in spare exhaust capability. Space is premium today, so keeping that in mind, for a smaller operator, it could be not boxing up his kitchen, yet giving him the flexibility to work around. The problem that we also face is we do not get clear briefs. I think many consultants around here, let's talk about our project brief that we get from our clients. They're not there precisely. And that adds to challenge because then there is no clarity that leads to uncertainty. Having said that, while you rightfully said that kitchens 10 years ago were not designed for data points, today while we do that, adding connectivity points into our kitchen design, building that in, it could be a hardwire port, it could be Wi-Fi, it could be Bluetooth. But having said that, that is what we're talking about today. What happens 3 years down the line, the IEEE standard changes from Bluetooth 6, as you rightfully said, you could go to Bluetooth 7. How do we account for that? We're also talking about system on board, system on chip, SoC today. So the equipments are going to be talking to each other. They may not necessarily need a sub a LAN or a Wi-Fi. So this also means that we need to ensure that we've got mobile connectivity predominantly in our kitchens as well. That means having in-building solutions, which the mobility service providers provide. And then how we integrate this to building operating systems. Over to you, Leonard.
Yeah, I think one of the things, we're talking to our consultant colleagues here. I think one of the things we have found challenging is when the requirement and the briefs are too prescriptive, right? It's a prescriptive model. And sometimes equipment model that the consultant specify may be out of, it may be out of date within 2 years. So I think one of the requests maybe is to, instead of having prescriptive standards, which we think sometimes is a trap, is to actually use performance-based.
And let's be very honest. I mean, hotel brand standards are probably written and revised 4 years down the line. I'm just giving you a vague example. I'm not giving the exact numbers out, but and I don't want to be offending any of the hotel operators here. But having said that, the technology is moving much faster than your operating standard currently in use in your facility. So you need to be in sync, and that's where I bring about that the hotel documents have, and not just hotel documents, even it applies for us as consultants, because many a times we're using spec sheets that are probably written a couple of years ago.
That's right.
And that's not updated. So, and we always reach out to you frantically during projects that, we need this and we need it instantly. So yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's a lot of times it's communication, right? I think manufacturers and consultants need to work together, and that's also important to actually work with consultants which are well briefed, follow certain standards, and then I think that's important, right? Sometimes we know when when we're working with a very professional consultant, or what we call the cut and paste type of designers, right? Where they just take something from a project from the past and put it as a request. So I think that's one of the advantages with working with accredited consultants, which is part of FCSI, right?
I would just want to take a point from the last session, what Prakash said. I mean, currently, yes, you could use AI, but you definitely need a consultant and somebody who's reliable to give you the right information basis your need, rather than just dumping in equipment.
That's right.
Because the facility needs to be designed to your particular needs, not over-designed, not under-designed, but designed right. And that's where the consultant comes into play.
Yeah. Good. So maybe, Rahool, let's look at the questions that we have had.
Sure.
Okay. Let me see. How does this work? Let's see. What core design principles should guide a kitchen that needs to adapt over the next 5 to 10 years?
I would say stick to your basics, keep your fundamentals right. Your process flow has to be right. Talking about technology, you need to have the available technology in terms of connectivity up to date when you're starting your facility, and look at these at regular intervals.
Okay. The second one, will OEMs be open to hire third-party software vendors to get connected to the equipment and cater detail? Yes, I think I talked about Kitchen Connect as an example. It's open platform, and that I would say is a buffer. Is an intermediate type of cloud-based software which can link to a SAP or whatever. So we don't want to be prescriptive or locked in. So I think that's certainly possible with us.
We've got 30 more seconds, so I'll take one question.
Sure. What are the guidelines for the safety and the sustainability for the kitchen design for next coming years? Rahool, that's you.
Talk about it would be your local standards primarily, and also talking about international standards of FSMS 22000 and OSHA's, which is Operational Safety and Workplace Environment. These are fundamentals that you need to keep in mind, and I think they again get updated time to time. So it's just like an ISO. You need to use the year of final publication, which is the closest to your date of opening. That'll keep you abreast with what's happening currently, and that should be your guiding principle for the coming years.
Great. Thank you, Rahool.
Thank you.
So as the last session, coming from FCSI, we are putting a plug out there, right? Please sign up for our event in Penang. Which one is it? This here, over here. So we're excited about it. We had a great time in Vietnam last year, and we look forward to seeing all of you in our next event in Penang, right? So please sign up early. So thank you for listening to Rahool and myself.